Good evening and welcome to City News. The Ford government has tabled the largest budget in Ontario's history. The 2023 budget surpassing the $200 billion mark for the very first time. Here it is, 186 pages. But despite it being such a massive budget, opposition leaders say nothing in it helps people struggling with the day-to-day rising cost of living.
I will now ask the pages to deliver the budgets to the members.
It is my honour to introduce the 2023 budget, Building a Strong Ontario.
A lively applause for the Minister of Finance as he tabled Ontario's largest ever budget, promising historic investments in health, education and infrastructure. But opposition leaders say the government's budget has failed to meet the moment.
I've never seen a government so gleefully celebrating mediocrity.
People today are feeling squeezed with the rising cost of living, and this government in this budget has nothing meaningful to offer relief.
$20.6 billion has been committed in this year's budget to get shovels in the ground to build transit, highways, hospitals, and housing, including money for the ambitious goal of building 1.5 million homes in the province by 2031. But the government's own budget shows they're going the wrong way. Housing starts are down significantly, 80,000 down from 96,000 last year, which the finance minister attributes to rising interest rates.
Those are private sector forecasts. Of course, they reflect the economic environment we're in. And one thing is certain is we're not going to relent on, regardless of the economic environment.
This government has no housing plan. It is deeply concerning that those housing starts are so far back, right? That we are nowhere near reaching the goal that we need to.
And there aren't enough people to build them. Ontario is facing a historic skilled labor shortage and will need 72,000 additional construction workers by 2027 to help deliver on the province's many targets. How realistic is that?
Well, I think it is realistic, but I'll say this, labor shortage is one of the things that keeps me up at night.
Meanwhile, despite a formal request from Toronto's deputy mayor, Toronto will not be getting any new money from the province to help cover a more than $1.2 billion budget shortfall.
They're shortchanging municipalities through massive cuts, meaning that families are going to pay higher property tax cuts, or as I like to call it, Ford taxes, for poorer services.
But the government insists investments are being made in other ways.
Toronto's number one ask is the supportive housing. We're delivering the $48 million that they requested.
They need to be more fiscally responsible with the taxpayers' money.
And the government is promising to deliver faster health care in its new budget, investing an additional $72 million to make more surgeries available outside hospitals, including at private clinics, what opposition leaders are calling a threat to the public health care system. But the government says this will ease pressures on emergency departments and reduce surgical wait lists. And hospitals are getting an $850 million funding boost, a 4% increase. Meanwhile, one-time COVID-19 investments will no longer be reported separately, but absorbed into overall healthcare system costs. What would you say to critics who would say maybe it was too soon to make that move?
I think the key thing is that we've pivoted from, ramping down the one-time COVID supports to ramp up the long-term investments.
And a couple other things to tell you about. The government is investing $224 million for a new capital stream of the Skills Development Fund to help boost the number of workers in Ontario. They're also investing a new 10% income tax credit to help local manufacturers lower their costs. And the government says it will balance Ontario's budget 3 years earlier than forecast in 2025.